Caleb Plant versus Trevor McCumby, 12 rounds in the 168-pound division. Let's get into it. Let's start with their respective records. Caleb Plant, 22 wins, 2 losses, 13 wins by way of knockout. McCumby, 28 wins, no losses, and 21 wins by way of knockout. I have respect and love for Caleb Plant, man, because he don't dodge no fights. You know, like he wants those big fights. If he mentions your name, he wants to, he's coming for you. There's no joke about it. He wants to get down to it and get you inside of the ring and handle business. Since 2019, when he became champion, man, he's fought some of the top guys, Jose Utkasagui, Caleb Truax, Canelo, Anthony Durrell, and the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. Even when Caleb Plant lost those fights, he gave it his all, and he went out giving everything that he's got. He was getting touched up by Canelo in the latter rounds of the fight, and his legs gave out on him, but his heart was still trying to keep him up. And, you know, he was exhausted, but you could see he was giving every single thing that he had because he was winning a good early portion of that fight. But he bounced back after the Canelo fight, not taking a tune-up fight, but fighting Anthony Durrell and delivering a knockout of the year candidate and dominated that fight in devastating fashion before getting into the ring next with David Benavidez, which we'll get into a little bit later. Now, I'm not too familiar with Trevor McCumby. I've seen him fight a couple times, but nothing really locked in for me when it came to him. Like I think he's got good size, and he's got decent pop in his hands. He's got good technique, uses his jab well. He looks more of a brawler to me than a boxer. Seems like he's trying to close the gap and then let his hands go. The overhand right is in full swing, full rotation in the bag of his punches for Trevor McCumby. He's looking to set that shot up. His combinations aren't bad, man. They're sound, they're placed well, accurate, and he can fight on the inside. He's a confident fighter. But when you look at the records, his record and the opponents that he's fought, it doesn't really jump out at you. It's a little bit underwhelming in all love and all respect in that manner. His opponents have not been the best, but at the same time, you can only fight who is in front of you. And to this point, he's beaten everybody that they have put in front of him. He's a little wild at times, and you can see he headhunts quite a bit. And sometimes he comes in a little recklessly, leaping with his hands down. And, you know, that the guy with quick hands and good counter-punching speed, like Caleb Plant, he'll make you pay for that. I think Caleb Plant is a solid boxer through and through, man. He does everything really well. He's got good speed, uses his jab well. He's got good timing, good footwork. He's got good pop in his shots, not devastating power, but it goes to show if he can line the shots up and hit the right spot, he can close out the show. We saw that with Anthony Durrell. So don't let Caleb's not crazy amount of knockouts fool you too much. This man has the ability to punch. McCumby has a big frame on him. You know, he seems to be the bigger fighter, but he's no bigger or faster or as good, in my opinion, maybe yours too, as David Benavidez. Which in the early part, when Caleb Plant fought David Benavidez, Caleb Plant was boxing exceptionally well. Caleb was up on the cards early in the fight, but that David Benavidez stalker-like pressure, you know, seemed to kind of take its toll as the fight went on. You know, Caleb was up on the cards. He fought a smart and calculated and controlled fight as best as he could. But I think the stalking of Benavidez and the constant pressure and the constant movement every single round, man, that tires you out a little bit. Caleb always seems to come in well-conditioned, but the fights that he's lost when fighting Canelo and Benavidez, he kind of got tired in the second half of the fight. He was boxing very well early against Canelo, but as the fight went on, he started to slow down a little bit. And I think it's partially because, man, of the movement that he's constantly doing and constantly evading and constantly thinking. And also, when you have pressuring guys that can punch and they land those shots to the ribs, to the body, it does tend to slow you up. Against Benavidez, Plant was getting tired after that 8th round, and things started to take a toll momentum-wise and work against him because David Benavidez started cutting off the ring, started going to the body, started letting combinations rip, started looping shots through Caleb Plant's high guard or around his high guard, and the power started to get more apparent. Shots started to land more and more and more, and it got to a point where Caleb Plant was starting to get beat up and starting to get punched on, and blood was starting to come down the side of his face. But at the same time, you can't question Caleb Plant's heart because he was trying to still fight, still trying to throw heavy punches, still throwing quick six-piece flurries of combinations. He was giving everything. His body might not have been as strong as it was in the early part of the fight, but the mind was still there. The mind was still willing. The heart was still willing. It just did not work out in his favor on the night. He never gave up. He kept fighting. Strong-willed fighter, but he couldn't. It's hard to keep pressuring fighter, a guy that can punch, away from you for 12 rounds, especially someone who knows how to apply pressure with calculation and adjust his shot selection like a David Benavidez and a Canelo Alvarez. It's tough. And when you're tired, it makes things even worse. McCumby is going to bring pressure. He's going to let his hands go. He's going to take that risk. He's going to try to impose his physicality on Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant's a strong opponent, but the guys Plant has lost to had excellent placement in their punches. They weren't as predictable as I've seen McCumby in some of his fights. You can kind of see what McCumby's trying to do in some of his fights. He has to do a better job of disguising his attack because Caleb's going to see that every round all night. And he's going to have an answer and a response for what comes his way. McCumby also has to be able to cut off the ring. So we'll see if he can do that and not let the frustration of not hitting Caleb as consistently as he would like get to him in the long run. So it's going to be a very interesting fight, man. Looking forward to seeing how it unfolds. So who wins? Before I give my pick on this fight, I have something real quick to share. I'm always looking to bring more light, more value, more opportunities for the community. I've been working on a few different things in recent weeks to not just grow the channel, but as I said, to continue to provide as much value as I can to each of you in our community. With that being said, I got some exciting news to share. I'm happy to announce my partnership with BetStamp and signup Expert. It's a great opportunity for you to join some of the best sports books to get the best odds and new user offer. All you have to do is head over to my dedicated page at signupexpert.com/thebreakdown to explore a selection of sports books tailored to your region, each with its own unique offerings. So if you want to place a bet this weekend and on this fight and beyond, check out the link to find the best options for you in your region. Every sign up does support the channel, and it helps the channel grow and to expand and to create more opportunities, not just for me, but for our community. I'm always looking out for you guys as best as I can. You can easily find the link in the description below this videos moving forward. So get down there and check it out and find the best option for you. Now, let's get back to the video. This is a step-up fight for Trevor McCumby, man. He's got the power to gain Caleb Plant's respect, but can he hit Plant clean enough throughout the fight to get that respect? This is his first 12-round fight as well, too, so he has to distribute his energy effectively. Caleb Plant is used to going 12 rounds, man, and he's used to going 12 grueling, hard-fought war type of rounds as well, too. So he's used to, conditioning-wise, going for 12 rounds. But at the same time, if McCumby can bide his time and distribute his power and energy correctly, he might be able to take advantage of when Caleb gets tired in the second half and find a way how to land that overhand right, overhand left that he likes to use. There's going to be some opportunities for him to hit Caleb Plant, but there's going to be some opportunities for Caleb Plant to impose that speed and that skill on Trevor McCumby. But I like Caleb Plant to win this fight by decision, man. I just think Caleb's speed, footwork, and movement and IQ is going to be a bit too much for McCumby on the night. I like Caleb Plant to win this fight by decision. I would not even be surprised by a Caleb Plant stoppage. This is a step-up fight for Trevor McCumby, man. But who knows, right? He could, on the night, rise to the occasion, elevate himself higher than he's ever been before. That's absolutely possible. It could happen. But I still like Caleb Plant to get it done on the night by decision. So those are my thoughts. I would love to hear from you. How do you think this one goes? Who do you have winning? Let me know in the comment section below. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.